Good morning. The conflict between Israel and Palestine is an incredibly complex and contentious geopolitical issue. When U.S. President Donald Trump unilaterally decided to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital and begin the process of moving America's embassy there, he enraged not only Palestinians but also his allies in the Middle East. Hamas, the Islamist political movement, has called for a new intifada. In Arabic, the word intifada means to shake off. In this context, the political and military movement is calling for an uprising against Israel. During the Second Intifada, which lasted nearly 5 years, around 4,000 people died. Hopes for a diplomatic solution to de-escalate tensions in the region are slim. Story continues below advertisement. Although Mr. Trump sells himself as a dealmaker, Doug Saunders writes in a column that Mr. Trump has thrown away his most powerful tool for enacting real change. Jerusalem was the most valuable bargaining chip. The promise of its normalization and partition persuaded Palestinians to recognize Israel and Israelis to negotiate stable and legal borders and an end to illegal settlements. Mr. Trump has now cashed in that chip in exchange for no concession at all from either party. The policy shift was unprecedented and has brought the threat of violence to the forefront. Protests broke out in the West Bank and Gaza yesterday, and although what happens next is uncertain, many are expecting an escalation in conflict. This is a developing story and will continue to be updated throughout the day and through the weekend. The Globe's Eric Reguli, at Araguli, is in Jerusalem to cover the situation on the ground. This is the Daily Politics Briefing newsletter, written by Chris Hannay in Ottawa, Mayaz Alam in Toronto and James Keller in Vancouver. If you're reading this on the web or someone forwarded this email newsletter to you, you can sign up for Politics Briefing and all Globe newsletters here. Have any feedback? Let us know what you think. We have a newsletter called Amplify that will inspire and challenge our readers while highlighting the voices, opinions and insights of women at the Globe and Mail. Amplify lands in your inbox every Saturday morning, with a different guest editor each week, a woman who works at the Globe highlighting a topic of the author's choice. The topics will vary and will dive deep into issues and events around the world. The newsletter will also highlight Canadian women who are inspiring others. Sign up today. Today's headlines. Canada's veterans die by suicide at a much higher rate than the general population, according to a new report released yesterday. The new data, which looks at deaths from 1976 to 2012, found that both female and male veterans were more likely to die by suicide. Suicide was the cause of death for 40% of the 435 male veterans who died before the age of 25. The rate for this demographic group was 2.4 times more likely than a Canadian male not serving in the military. Veterans Affairs and the Canadian Armed Forces say they will use the data and annual reports released hereafter to help shape a joint suicide prevention strategy. Story continues below advertisement.